the Underboss.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Dave Simon. This is a very special edition of Wrestling Uncensored New Japan Cup review. First round is in the books, and the second round is coming up. So we are going to preview the second round and tell you what happened all through the first round. It's a special recap. So I'm solo here, no Johnny North. Johnny North's still not aboard the New Japan train, but he will be soon, as I'm sure a lot of you, some of you are, some of you are not. But I think the goal of this show is going to be to get some of you on board with me watching New Japan Pro Wrestling. We cover a lot of WWE, but we're going to jump into more New Japan as I'm getting more interested in New Japan, trying to watch more pro wrestling. I think more pro wrestling is always good, right? So let's get right into it as far as the New Japan Cup goes. On March 9th, we had the first night. It's a round of 16. 8 men are remaining. The first night we had Michael Elgin and Tomohiro Ishii in what I thought was the match of the tournament. I don't think there was a better match than Michael Elgin and Tomohiro Ishii in the whole thing. Elgin advancing 29 minutes. These guys went half an hour, hard hitting. One crazy bump that Ishii took from Elgin. Really rough stuff. Kind of like a razor's edge from the top rope. Went down head first. And that wasn't even the finish of the match. Elgin wound up winning by pinfall with a burning hammer. Michael Elgin, big, strong, tough guy. Ishii as well. I thought they tore it up and really set a good example of what this tournament is about. Kind of saying, hey, follow that. And Michael Elgin winning and advancing in the tournament. Juice Robinson, former NXT talent, CJ Parker, he beat Yujiro Takahashi. And if you saw the match, you'll notice Yujiro, the Tokyo Pimp, had one of his ladies there with him wearing quite an outfit. Really Attitude Era stuff here in New Japan. It's pretty crazy. Kazuchika Okada earlier on in the night teamed up with Yoshihashi, both members of Chaos. Okada not in this tournament. Of course, the winner of the tournament can challenge Kazuchika Okada for his heavyweight championship. Could also challenge Minoru Suzuki for the Intercontinental title, or Goto for the Never Openweight championship. So the winner of this thing kind of has a choice, and I've got some theories on what's going to happen, and we'll get to that in a little bit. So Okada and Yoshihashi going over Chase Owens and Kota Ibushi. Kind of interesting to see Kota Ibushi joining some Bullet Club members on some of these New Japan Cup shows, as Ibushi, of course, teaming with Kenny Omega, but Omega has not been on any of these shows. He was doing some stuff in the United States with Ring of Honor, but Ibushi is in the tournament. He did advance as well, and he teamed with Chase Owens on the losing end, with Okada getting the submission win over Owens in that tag team match. Elsewhere on the first night, we had Taichi, Iizuka, and Suzuki. All of Suzuki-gun. They took on Tanahashi, who made his return, teaming with David Finlay and Toa Hanare. Taichi getting the victory over Hanare there by pinfall. Zack Sabre Jr., Kanemaru, and El Desperado beating Bushi, Sanada, and Naito. Zack Sabre Jr. getting the victory over Bushi, and Zack Sabre Jr. making a real big impact in this tournament. And we'll get to that in a couple of seconds here, as Zack Sabre Jr. took on Naito and won in his tournament match. That was definitely the most shocking victory in the opening round. Biggest upset by far. Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Lance Archer teamed up to get a victory over Tangaloa and Bad Luck Fale. Chucky T, Toru Yano, and Hiroki Goto win over Shota Umino, Tomoyuki Oka, and David Finlay. And that was the first night. So the tournament matches, we had Elgin and Juice Robinson advancing, and they will face each other coming up here later tonight, early this morning, when this podcast will come out on WrestlingUncensored.net. So the second round, the round of 8, the quarterfinals, we'll see Michael Elgin taking on Juice Robinson, as those two advancing on the first night. The second night of the New Japan Cup, on the 10th of March, we saw Hiroshi Tanahashi getting the victory over Taichi with the high fly flow of victory for Tanahashi by pinfall. Tanahashi actually won the first ever New Japan Cup back in 2005. He also won it in 2008, and I could see him winning it this year. He lost the Intercontinental Championship at the New Year's Dash show to Minoru Suzuki, and I could see Tanahashi, he's kind of like the John Cena of New Japan. I could see him advancing all the way, winning the tournament, and then challenging Suzuki for a rematch for the Intercontinental Championship. It's a possibility. I'm really not sure who's going to win this tournament, and that's what makes it so interesting, is not only are the matches all generally very good, but you have no idea where they're going. You don't know who's going to win any of these matches. It's not predictable, and it's hard to figure out who's going to come out on top in the end. And then not only that, but you don't know what they're going to do with the victory of the tournament. What title are they going to challenge for? So you have all these guys in the tournament, and they all have potential guys that they would want to challenge. They all have storylines that would make sense. Like Michael Elgin could win the tournament and challenge Okada. Why not? Why wouldn't he want to do that? Or maybe he wants to challenge Goto and become the never openweight champion. I could see Elgin winning the thing. I could see Tanahashi winning and challenging Suzuki. Tanahashi advancing over Taichi in his opening round match. I thought the match was okay. Nothing special. But it was all right. And Bad Luck Fale defeating Lance Archer in his opening round match, about 11 minutes. Fale winning by pinfall. You know, it was okay, but I don't know. Those two guys, both big guys, I think their styles conflicted there. I don't think they had the best match of the tournament. Elsewhere, you had Kota Ibushi, Yujiro Takahashi, and Chase Owens teaming with Hikuleo, and they lost to Okada, Goto, Yoshihashi, and Chucky T. I liked seeing Okada and Ibushi in the ring together. We got to see this a lot over these few shows, and that was very interesting to me. I feel like Ibushi might be one of the future main eventers for New Japan. He's an excellent wrestler. He's very over with the crowd. I know that he's got the tag team thing going on with Kenny Omega, but I can't help but feel that Ibushi's got a heavyweight title run in his future, and a feud with Okada would be huge right now. You look at Okada, and he's beat so many guys. He's been on top for so long. It's hard to come up with fresh new opponents for him. But I think Kota Ibushi would be one of them. I think that match would be huge. And I think it would be very good. And I've enjoyed them in tag team matches interacting and having some time in the ring against each other, pulling off some very, very awesome stuff. Mostly in a tag team match they had on the last night. I thought that was great. But this one in an 8-man tag with Okada, Goto, Yoshihashi, and Chucky T, the whole crew from Chaos, getting the victory over the Bullet Club members plus Kota Ibushi. Suzuki-gun, Minoru Suzuki, Zack Sabre Jr., and Taka Michinoku losing to Los Ingobernables team, Naito, Sanada, and Bushi. Sanada getting the pinfall, or actually it was a submission victory over Taka Michinoku. Yes, that is the same Taka Michinoku from the WWF back in the day. He's still in it. I like his promos that he's doing with Zack Sabre Jr. Taka's kind of acting as his manager a lot. He's in the ring and he's cutting these promos mostly in Japanese, but somewhat in English. And I think Taka's doing a really good job. And, of course, Minoru Suzuki is the man. He's by far my favorite wrestler in all of pro wrestling. He is just the most vicious, awesome, brutal, violent wrestler there is going today. He's just tremendous. The Intercontinental Champion, IWGP. Davey Boy Smith Jr. teamed up with Takashi Iizuka, and they got the victory over Toa Henare and Juice Robinson. Toru Yano and Ishii teaming up got the victory over Michael Elgin and the young lion Tomoyuki Oka. David Finlay and Tetsuro Yagi getting win over Yuji Nagata and Shota Umino. And then in the opening contest, it was El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru, the newly crowned IWGP light heavyweight, junior heavyweight tag team champions. They recently beat Sho and Yo, Roppongi 3K, El Desperado and Kanemaru, both of Suzuki-gun. And I'm noticing a trend where the guys in Suzuki-gun are winning a lot of titles and doing quite well for themselves. You know, Taichi recently had a match with Naito. He has a match here with Tanahashi. He comes out on the losing end, but he's looking pretty strong in the process. Zack Sabre Jr. also in Suzuki-gun, looking pretty strong so far in the tournament. Suzuki-gun as a crew is really getting a big push as a faction. El Desperado and Kanemaru picking up those tag titles was a real surprise to me and really adds to that group. So we've gone through the first two nights here in the New Japan Cup. Night 3, in the main event, we saw Tetsuya Naito losing to Zack Sabre Jr. So Naito out of the tournament, losing in the first round. A pretty shocking upset there. Zack Sabre Jr. coming in, an English wrestler. A lot of technical wrestling, a lot of grappling styles, and he made Naito tap out. Kind of seemed like Naito was maybe taking Zack Sabre Jr. a little bit too lightly in the match type of deal. And Zack Sabre Jr. capitalized and caught him in a submission. I thought the match was pretty good. I thought it was one of the better matches of the tournament. If I were to rank the matches in this tournament, I would put Elgin and Ishii as the best. Sonata and Chucky T, I thought, had a great match at number 2. Naito and Sabre Jr., I'd say, were the third best match of this tournament. Kota Ibushi and Yoshihashi, I put at 4. Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Toru Yano at 5. Tanahashi and Taichi at 6. Juice Robinson and Yujiro at 7. And then Bad Luck Fale and Lance Archer. I didn't think it was a terrible match, but I thought it was the weakest match of the whole thing. Elgin and Ishii, though, if you get a chance, if you have not seen it, try and check it out. It was a fantastic match. I liked Naito and Zack Sabre Jr. as well. Very surprise ending, of course. And Sabre Jr. advancing in the tournament. And he will be taking on Kota Ibushi. I mean, do I really have to sell you on how good that match is going to be? Zack Sabre Jr. versus Kota Ibushi. Toru Yano versus Sonata going down on Thursday, March 15th. But Ibushi versus Sabre Jr., that should be fantastic. And I have no idea who's going to win that match. I could see it being Zack Sabre Jr. If I had to pick, I would be picking Zack Sabre Jr. Even though Kota Ibushi is a guy that's, strongly pushed by New Japan. He's one of their top guys right now. But I feel like Zack Sabre Jr. is getting a big push. He might go all the way to the finals. Other action on night 3, we saw Kota Ibushi get his win, advancing, beating Yoshihashi. Good match there. Sonata and Bushi losing to Okada and Chucky T. I like that tag team of Okada and Chucky T. They work well together. Iizuka and Taichi of Suzuki-gun got the victory over Taguchi and Tanahashi. Toru Yano, Tomohiro Ishii, and Hiroki Goto beat Kanemaru, Davey Boy Smith Jr., and Lance Archer in a battle of chaos versus Suzuki-gun there. Tanga Loa, Chase Owens, and Yujiro and Bad Luck Fale got the win over Michael Elgin, Juice Robinson, David Finlay, and Toa Henare. Just running through a lot of these matches. There were some good matches here. Anything with Okada is good. I think his matches, as far as, the undercard of these New Japan shows, I think that Okada's matches are really the highlight. Everything he's doing right now is just excellent. Suzuki as well. When Suzuki's around, he's always good. Elsewhere on this card, we had El Desperado getting the win over a young lion, Shota Umino. And when you see that matchup, you know what's going down. When you see one of the guys who's like half of the junior heavyweight tag team champions taking on a guy who's just a young lion, you know what's going to happen there, right? The young lions never win. They are jabronis. They lose every time. But, they are the future stars of the company, and some of them are very good. And we had Yuji Nagata teaming with Tomoyuki Oka in the opening contest, taking on Ren Narita and Tetsuhiro Yagi. Now, Yagi and Narita, they are young lions. Oka is also a young lion, but Nagata is not. He's like a player-coach type of deal. He's an older guy. He wrestled back in WCW. He's been around forever. And that's another deal where when you see Nagata in there teaming with a young lion against two young lions, you know that Nagata's team is going to go over. That's just how it works. So that was night 3, and now we are finally on to night 4 of the New Japan Cup. The final night of the opening round. We had Sanada and Chucky T in the main event. I thought they made a real play for a match of the tournament. As far as match quality, I thought that they killed it. Fantastic match between Sanada and Chucky T, using a lot of the outside stuff. Chucky T did a crazy dive over the barricade onto Sanada. Really nuts. Looked like it hurt. He got put through a table as well. Or he put Sanada through a table. It was a pretty good match. Chucky T and Sanada. Yeah, Sanada put Chucky T through a table, which was the only table spot in the whole tournament. Of all 4 shows, it was the only time anybody got put through a table. Sanada got slammed on some chairs. It was a hardcore match. The referee Red Shoes really let the action kind of flow. They didn't stop it for any kind of disqualification. There must be a winner. Kota Ibushi kind of had the same deal. He did a dive from the stands onto Yoshihashi in his match, and the referee just kind of let it go. The count-out wasn't really happening at that point. Kind of loose with the rules in New Japan, but it does provide for some more exciting matches, so I'm not complaining. Sanada getting the win over Chucky T, so Sanada advances, and he's always dangerous. He's one of these guys that they're trying to keep in a good position. He's one half of the tag team champions in New Japan. His partner, Evil, is out with an injury, but the guy wrestled Okada recently in the main event for the title. He's one of the top names in New Japan, and he's a very good wrestler. Sanada and Chucky T really had a great match. And Toru Yano getting the win over Davey Boy Smith Jr. in the other match on the final night of the New Japan Cup. Or the final night of the first round, anyways. Toru Yano, he's fun. He's fun to watch. He has a lot of gimmicks. He's selling gimmicks. He's always taking off the turnbuckle pad and running his opponent into it. Every match he has, he's doing that. And Davey Boy Smith Jr., of course, you know him. He's a Hart. His mother, Diana Hart. His grandfather, Stu Hart. His uncle, Brett. His father was Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldog. He was a former WWE Tag Team Champion with the New Heart Foundation, or whatever they were called. With Natty and TJ Wilson, Tyson Kidd, and Natalia. Natalia is his cousin. And I always root for him. I'm a big fan of the Harts. Big fan of his uncle Brett, of course, and his father. So I kind of wanted, selfishly, to see him advance in this, at least past Toru Yano. I was disappointed to see him lose, but he was the only guy who didn't get beat by pinfall in this whole tournament, in the opening round. Every other match finished by pinfall, except for this one, that finished by countout. It was kind of a cool finish where Davey Boy Smith Jr. got crotched on the barricade, and then Toru Yano shook up the barricade, hurting his groin and testicles even further, causing him not to be able to get back into the ring for the count of 20. Which, yes, it's not a 10 count in New Japan. It is the count of 20, if you don't know. So Davey Boy Smith loses in the opening round to Toru Yano. Yano will move on to face Sonata, and I believe Sonata will win. I think that's one that's easier to call than maybe any of the others. I'd be pretty surprised if Toru Yano went over Sonata. I think Sonata's going to win this match. And then he'll advance to the semifinals, where he'll face either Kota Ibushi or Zack Sabre Jr. And the winner of that match will go to the finals on Wednesday, March 21st, of course. But the Ibushi Sabre Jr. match and Toru Yano taking place on Thursday morning, early morning, March 15th in Japan. And then the Michael Elgin versus Juice Robinson and Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Bad Luck Fale matches. Those are taking place Wednesday morning here. So coming up very soon after, or maybe have already taken place when you're listening to this podcast. And then the winners of Elgin, Robinson, Tanahashi, Fale will face off on March 16th in the semifinals. So that's on Friday. And then the other semifinals will be on Sunday morning, March 18th. And then the finals next Wednesday, March the 21st. Right now I'm thinking Michael Elgin is going to go over Juice Robinson. Tanahashi's going to go over Bad Luck Fale. We're going to see Tanahashi versus Michael Elgin in the semifinals. And if I had to pick, I would go with Tanahashi winning. I think Tanahashi is going to get to the finals. And in the other bracket, Ibushi and Sabre, I think Sabre's going to go over Ibushi. I think Sonata's going to go over Toru Yano. I think Sabre is going to go over Sonata. And then it'll be Zack Sabre Jr. versus Tanahashi in the finals. And I'm picking Zack Sabre Jr. to win and go on to challenge Kazuchika Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. That's where I think it's going. Zack Sabre Jr. beating Naito was huge. And I could see him going all the way. I don't really see Bad Luck Fale going all the way, like him and Okada right now. I don't know. Sonata, what's he going to do? Is he going to challenge Okada again? Is he going to challenge Suzuki? Or Goto? I don't know. I don't really see Sonata winning this thing. Toru Yano, I don't really see him. He's not going to challenge Okada or Goto because he's in the same faction. He's in Chaos with those guys. So if Yano wins, the only guy he would challenge would be Minoru Suzuki for the Intercontinental title, and I don't see that happening. What's the point of that? That'd be weird. Why would Toru Yano want that? Suzuki would knock his head off. Kota Ibushi, I could see him going all the way and winning. I could see him winning this thing. I could see him winning and challenging Okada. The interesting thing about Ibushi is that he doesn't have any allegiance with any of these New Japan factions. He's not in Suzuki-gun. He's not one of the Los Ingobernables. He's not technically in Bullet Club. But nobody in Bullet Club right now is holding any of the major titles in New Japan. If you think about it, nobody, well, I guess Fale, Tamatanga, and Tongaleo hold the never openweight 6-man titles. But Tamatanga, from what I understand, is injured. So those are the only Bullet Club members that are holding any kind of New Japan gold right now. So Ibushi really has a clear path as far as factions go. He could challenge Okada. He could challenge Suzuki. He could also challenge Goto. I would love to see Ibushi wrestle either Okada or Suzuki. I think that would be a great match. That would be fantastic. Okada and Ibushi for the title, I feel like maybe it's a little bit too early for the heavyweight title. But Ibushi and Suzuki, I think, would come out of nowhere a little bit, and that would be fun to watch. I'd like to see Ibushi wrestle Suzuki at some point, whether he wins this tournament or not. But I think Zack Sabre Jr., him challenging Okada makes a lot of sense right now. Tanahashi, I could also see him winning the whole tournament and challenging Suzuki. Like I said, that's a possibility, but it seems a little bit too obvious. Juice Robinson, maybe he surprises everybody, wins, challenges Suzuki or Okada, maybe, but and Michael Elgin, he could challenge anybody. He could challenge Suzuki easily or Okada. It would make sense. So a lot of guys that could win this thing, but I believe Zack Sabre Jr. will win. He's my pick right now. And that's going to do it for the show here. I guess I should run down the rest of the action from the final night of the New Japan first round, New Japan Cup first round. We had Tomohiro Ishii teaming up with Kazuchika Okada. I like that tag team a lot. They faced Chase Owens and Kota Ibushi. I thought that match was fantastic. I like that match a lot. And then we also saw Minoru Suzuki with his guys, Lance Archer, Iizuka, and Taichi, and they got the victory over Tanahashi, Juice Robinson, David Finlay, and Toa Hanare. Archer getting the win over Hanare in that one. Zack Sabre Jr. and Michinoku teaming up to lose to Bushi and Naito. So this was right after Sabre Jr. had defeated Naito, but Bushi getting the win for the Los Ingobernables team, getting the pinfall victory on Taka Michinoku. Yoshihashi and Goto got the win over Oka and Elgin. Once again, Elgin teaming with a young lion, so that was obvious where that one was going to go. Young lion Yagi, Shota Umino, and Yuji Nagata, they lost to Yujiro, Tangaloa, and Bad Luck Fale. And then we had El Desperado and Kanemaru beating two young lions, or one young lion rather, Ren Narita, and then the coach, Ryusuke Taguchi. I like Taguchi. The sunglasses, the whole gimmick. He's got a good gimmick. He's fun. He's a fun character to watch in New Japan. A lot of fun characters to watch in New Japan. And I hope you're watching along with me here on WrestlingUncensored.net. This is a special New Japan edition for the New Japan Cup. So the first round is in the books. Second round about to begin. I'll check back with you at the end of the second round, and then briefly after, or maybe just after the finals. We'll see. We'll see what the schedule is. I'll give you an update on the next episode of Wrestling Uncensored with myself and Johnny North. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the New Japan Cup.